So over the last couple of weeks, I was going through the Purge franchise for the first time. So now that I've seen all four of the Purge movies, it is the perfect time to rank them all. Before I get started giving my opinion on these movies and my ranking, I kind of wanted to show off the Rotten Tomatoes score for each of these movies. So coming in fourth place, according to Rotten Tomatoes now, we have the First Purge coming in at 40%. Coming in second place, we got the First Purge, which is kind of confusing itself. This is actually the fourth movie. So we got the Purge, which is the first movie. The fourth movie is called The First Purge, which is actually coming in at 55%. And then coming in at first place, tied for first place, we've got Purge the Election Year and Purge Anarchy, both coming in with 56%. And coming in at number 4, I do have the First Purge. Honestly, when I kind of looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score for all these, I was really surprised to actually have agreed with the Rotten Tomatoes score, because this is actually the only Purge movie I've seen twice now. I watched this one a year or so ago on Netflix. Then I picked up the box set and I got through them all. So I rewatched the first one because I hadn't seen it in a year. So I wanted to refresh my memory on it, and it's really bad. It's a home invasion movie, but it doesn't... The idea of the Purge in this movie, it doesn't really need to be there because they're invading in a home, so you don't really get to see much of the Purge. In the other movies, they really explore the world of going out, and we actually get to see multiple cases of the Purge. But this movie, you're just trapped in a house with a bunch of people trying to get one man to the front garden so people can purge on this man. So it doesn't really take really full advantage of the Purge. But surprisingly, I didn't realize it was Ethan Hunt, and I think her name is Lena Hardy. I think her name is, she was Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones. I was shocked to see. I kind of had an idea Ethan Hunt was in it, but when I seen Cersei Lannister, I was like, holy crap! I never realized that was her last year. I think it's the hair. Wasn't really able to picture her face in it when I seen her hair, so I was really surprised to see her in it. But again, this movie doesn't really take advantage of the kind of the idea of the Purge. The whole kind of scenario plays out because the kid does something stupid, and it's not redeemable. I don't really like this movie. I found it really boring. I don't think it's even an hour and a half, and I was so bored watching it. I didn't think the plot was any good. I wasn't invested in the characters. Like, if they could have all died, I wouldn't have cared. These characters, didn't like them whatsoever. That's why, honestly, I think this was the easiest to put in the position it was going to be, because it's the worst out of them all. Now, from this point onwards, I do understand that these aren't really the best. I understand the Purge movies aren't really the best, but I actually enjoyed, from this point onwards, from 3 to 1, I actually enjoy all these movies, and I can see myself rewatching them. Where with the first Purge movie, I can't really see myself rewatching it again because I really didn't enjoy it. But these next 3, I think I actually will watch it again. So that's why I have, coming in at number 3, I do have the Purge Election Year. The Purge Election Year, even though I do have some problems with it, I like the kind of sense of it just keeps moving. It is constantly moving. It's probably the quickest paced out of all the movies. I actually don't know the runtime for it, but it seems like it's a really quick paced movie. You do have that really kind of interesting cliffhanger where we find out that everyone's rebelling, yeah, you know what I mean. They're over the fact that they're going to be getting rid of the Purge, and everyone's kind of freaking out, causing what we're going to be getting later on this year with the Forever Purge. So the kind of the way this movie ends off really intrigues me to see where the franchise is going as well. This movie has got the most memorable of villains. As you can see, I do have Lady Liberty pop here because I wanted a Purge pop to go with my horror icons, and like they have in the back, they have one from the Purge Anarchy, but he's not really as memorable. But then if you look at the villains in this movie, they're the most memorable villains. Like, you do have, unfortunately, you have Candy Bar Girl, who is a crap villain, stupid character. Her entire friend group wasn't really a massive fan of, but then all the people who dressed up in the American iconic characters, I actually enjoyed them characters as well. You do have Frank Grillo returning from Purge Anarchy, he's not as good as he was. I think he's a lot better in the first one. He's still really good in this, and I actually really like his character. I don't know if he's going to show up in the Forever Purge. Kind of hope he does, because I do like his character, and I want to see him continue on as well. You do have the woman who's kind of going for president. I want to say she was fine. Nothing really great about it. She's going for president because her family was killed in the Purge and she wants to get rid of Purge. So you understand the kind of reasoning behind her. I understood it. Wasn't really a massive fan of her character as well. You do have the shop owner and that entire sideline plot. I enjoyed it for what it was, but again, it's not really a really memorable part. The only really good thing about this movie is it's very gory, it's enjoyable as hell. Like, it's cheesy. It is one of those guilty pleasure movies, which I think 3 to 1 right now. These are all going to be guilty pleasure movies for me. And coming in number 2, I do have the First Purge, or the prequel to the Purge franchise, as you might be able to kind of tell what I'm talking about. This movie, I actually didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know if people liked it or kind of hated it. Had the rough idea about the other ones, but this is one I really didn't know about. So I went into it, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I was kind of surprised by how much fun I had, because a horror franchise prequels, they're never really that good. But this one, I like the way that kind of we get to see the purge emerging. Like we get a good bit at the start. I checked, it was a half an hour into the movie before the purge actually started. So we got a lot of kind of character growth for our characters. We got to see kind of how everything went about. They actually, instead of opening the entire purge up for the first time to America, which I never really thought about, but it would kind of be a bit odd if they did that. They kind of just kind of centered it in Staten Island. You got paid $5,000 if you stayed there for the night just to test it out. And if you knew you were actually going to go out and commit some crimes, they made you put these kind of eyes in so that they could see what you're seeing. And that the eyes made for a really creepy effect because it kind of gave everyone a greenish eye. So in the dark, all you see is their eyes, and it really made for a creepy effect as well. You do have this kind of psychopath going around killing people. He's got all these face tattoos, and he'd be dancing with people. Obviously, and he just kills them. So he made for a really not really intriguing, but he made for a creepy villain where you didn't know what was going to happen to him. He just kind of went about doing random things as well. Our sort of main lead, this guy is in charge of a drug empire. I don't know a character's name, I don't know the actor's name, but I actually like this character. Even though he is a bad guy because he is leader of a drug empire, he made for our hero in this movie, and I enjoyed seeing the progression of his character and to see how it all goes about. I wonder if these characters will ever come back within the Forever Purge, because I don't know, maybe people like these characters. I wouldn't mind seeing them again in the Forever Purge because I would like to see what happened with them if they survive future purges, especially him because he is a drug lord. Will people be going after him in future installments of the Purge? So I really wouldn't mind seeing these characters come back as well. We find out that the Purge was never really was a success. Everyone was actually more partying than killing, so the government threw people in there to kill. So it kind of was interesting in a way to show that the Purge never worked, and they just kind of made it work in a kind of a creepy ass way. And probably an easy contender for first place, I do have the Purge Anarchy. Was really surprised at this because after seeing the first one, knowing I wasn't really a massive fan of it, I didn't know what to expect going into the sequel. I was thinking, geez, what did I get myself into buying an entire franchise? Not liking the first one, but honestly, really surprised. This movie is a lot of fun. As I said when I was talking about the Purge election year, Frank Grillo he's great in this movie. He's the best part of this movie. He's probably the best part about this entire franchise, and I loved seeing his character just kind of going out there, and as well the group he's with. I liked the fact that they don't want to be there. These people who do not want anything to do with the Purge. Like you get a woman and a child who are locking themselves in the apartment. You get some people who are traveling somewhere and their car broke down, so they absolutely didn't want to be in the Purge, but they got roped into it, and I feel like it kind of made for a more energetic movie. The fact that they didn't want to be there, you got Frank Grillo trying to protect them. I just really like that kind of atmosphere for the movie. It was a very different perspective, especially after the first one when it was trapped in a house, and this one we're in a city, we're with people who are completely new, who don't know anything about it. Well, they know about it, but they don't want to know anything about it. So I just think it kind of kept the movie going at a really quick pace as well. Even though our villains, we got a scene in this movie where we got all these rich people coming in on hunting our people. That was really interesting, and something that probably would happen if the Purge was a real thing. Even though it's kind of a horrible thing, it kind of would happen in the real world. And the whole movie, it moves at such a quick pace. I enjoyed the characters. They're probably the most memorable characters out of all of this franchise, and these are characters when I watched the Purge election year, I thought maybe the young girl, the young girl and her mother, I thought the black girl in the Purge election year, I thought that was her growing up, because I don't know, I can't remember if they said it was a time skip. I think there was, but I didn't know if it was a massive one. Kind of would like it if they did like a 5-year time jump and made that her. That I thought maybe that would have been a good idea to kind of show that because the Purge election year, she goes around saving people. I thought maybe because she got saved during the Purge, she wants to do it. I thought that might have been a really good idea. Didn't do that idea, but this movie, I still think it is probably the most rewatchable one. Honestly, if I want to watch a Purge movie, I will put the Purge Anarchy in, because I just think it's probably the best out of them all. So that's my ranking of all 4 of the Purge movies. Hopefully we get the Forever Purge in July. Honestly, I don't really know if we will, but I would love to see another Purge movie because these movies are a lot of fun. So if we do get in July, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can come back when I do my movie review of that movie whenever it does come out. As well, I will be doing an updated ranking more than likely. So if you want to see where I rank the Forever Purge whenever that movie comes out, with all these movies, make sure to click that subscribe button so you can come back whenever I do that. And as always, thanks for watching.